Hello and welcome again back to Prevent-A-Thon. I am your host, BDF Flotsam, and we have Joker playing Synaesthete. Take it away.
As you said, my name is Joker, and this is Synaesthete. This is a fun little rhythm action game that I like to compare it to The Binding of Isaac meets Rock Band. And you'll see exactly what I mean as we get into this game. Joining me, because it is a little bit difficult here to play rhythm games and talk at the same time and explain things, is my good friend Ozmourn, who has been with me for quite a few of these runs and is a good luck charm for me usually, because I can set world records and PBs when he's on my couch.
This is true. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn. I have been on the couch with Joker in their run of this before, and they're absolutely amazing at this game. And last time that I was on the couch, they got a world record. So quite clearly, it's going to happen again now. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, give some blesses in chat, everyone, because they're going to do absolutely amazing. Aside from that, I still have yet to play this game myself personally, even though I very easily can. I just haven't gone around to it. Joker will have to force me, and I will gladly let them do it. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what they have in store.
Yep, and because of your generous donations and meeting the incentive, we have upgraded. So there are 3 difficulties in the game. You'll hear trivial, then tricky, but we're going all the way up to 78 RPM, the warning difficulty. This is very, very tough to do, and you'll see exactly why once we get into the game. There's a tiny bit of story. Essentially, you are playing as the Zakeman, trying to save your world from some rulers, some bad guys who are taking over. Through the course of music, using music to kind of take over the world. Nothing too intense, but it's still pretty fun. And you'll already see here at 78 RPM at the warning difficulty, this is not easy to start off with. And you'll see what I'm doing here in just a moment. I will explain that. But when we are ready, I will go ahead and give us a countdown. All right, and 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. So this is Townhouse. This is the first song here in the game. And this is Synaesthete. So, as I said, rhythm action game. So you're going to see the 3 beats falling down in the middle of the screen. My whole goal is to meet those beats so I can destroy the enemies, as you see. It does get very hectic very fast. One of the things you just saw me do there is I used the spell Equilibrium. There are a number of spells in the game that you can use. Equilibrium will increase my size and speed and allow me to stomp enemies. And those are crucial in rooms to help clear enemies out. And the reason it's so crucial is that the rooms will loop. If I don't hit and kill the enemies within a certain section of the song, which you'll hear most likely here. Yes. It does repeat. So part of the song will repeat until you move to the next room. And that's one of the fun things about this song is that it feels like it grows and evolves as you move through each room in each song. And there's a few different types of enemies. These red ones will kind of do a targeted chase. So they'll kind of target you down and then they'll run at you or where you were. So we can kind of use that to manipulate their momentum and their movement to make things a little bit easier to squish them. These little red pill bugs just kind of run around back and forth in these little patterns. They are just moving. They don't move at an angle or they don't curve. They just move straight back and forth. So it can make things a little bit easier to run back and forth. One thing you're going to see me do is in rooms like this where I know where the exit is, I'm going to be hanging around the exit more often than not. That's just going to allow me to move between rooms faster and make sure that I don't hit loops. Because if it loops, obviously that takes a lot more time and we don't, we want to go as fast as we can.
Yeah. And so like as you can see here, there's a lot of coordination that needs to be met when it comes to what Joker's doing. They are with one hand moving the character and the other hand essentially, tapping to the rhythm of the music or tapping to what they see on screen with the song. And for each beat that they get right, obviously that's an attack on an enemy. And so just being able to, like, part of the speed isn't just moving around being towards the exits, like actually being able to like hit everything on beat, make sure that you kill enemies as fast as possible. And so that is something that I'm always like incredibly impressed by, just the amount of coordination that it takes to do what they do. And absolutely love the things that go into this game and into the speedrun, just because of just how much coordination and that needs to go into to go fast. It's more than just like tricks. It's keeping in tone with the music, and that's an amount of coordination that I personally could never like try and imagine how to perfect.
It can get very tricky very quickly. And one of the other big things of speed tech that I try to do is I try to save a spell here for the last room, depending on how many enemies and how many things are happening in the last room, because obviously the quicker you can complete the last room, the quicker we get to the end of the song. But in some occasions, I will just go ahead and use my equilibrium spell just so that I can clear out the room and not take any hits. Because in Warning, you take a lot of damage. And I can die very quickly. So it is very tough. But we are coming up on the first of 3 main boss songs. This will be the Voxel King. Voxel King in Trivial is very, very easy. In Warning, he is not. There's an extra pattern that we don't see in Trivial. He will end up spawning extra enemies around, and that just directs the flow of the attacks from him to his ads that he spawns, and it drags things out a little bit longer. Plus, he has a big beam attack that can and will hit me multiple times if I'm not careful. And that would... The boss levels here, the first 3 boss levels we have, will be great times for donations or blurb reading if you've got anything there, Flotsam. So we're coming up on some time here for you to get some things out yourself. And obviously, Flotsam, if you've got questions or if you've got comments, you want to say anything, feel free to have at it. I love showcasing this game off to new people because it's a very unique game.
The only question I have is, does the higher difficulty increase the tempo and therefore potentially make the run a little bit faster in that regard?
No, it doesn't increase the tempo of the songs. So the songs are... the songs will stay as they are. What it does is it will increase the beats and the notes that come down, much like a Dance Dance Revolution or a Rock Band. When you increase the difficulty, you get more notes, and you get more things that you have to work through on that end. It also increases the amount of difficulty or the amount of damage I take, and the number of enemies that spawn in each room.
Interesting.
And how much of a time difference is there between like this difficulty and the standard difficulty you usually play at?
So my easiest difficulty world record is just under 30 minutes. And most of the runs that I've done of Warning have been around 35 to 40, depending on bad luck and getting hit by enemies. Because every time I get hit by an enemy, it pulls away the beats for a few seconds, so it takes away my ability to do damage.
Alright, I believe now would be a good time to talk about Little Warriors, which is a national charitable organization focused on the awareness, prevention, and treatment of child sexual abuse. They also advocate on behalf of and with child sexual abuse survivors. Little Warrior programs include a free child sexual abuse prevention workshop called Prevent-A-Thon, specialized intensive treatment programs for children and teens who have been sexually abused at the Little Warriors Be Brave branch, online comprehensive Be Brave Bridge programs that connect specialized counselors and coaches with children, teens, and parents who have been impacted by child sexual abuse, Bridge community programs to educate all children and youth on a variety of topics for their overall mental health and well-being, and coming soon, adults who are sexually abused as children will finally have a place to receive intensive treatment at our Lighthouse and Intensive Adult Treatment Centre. For more information, visit littlewarriors.ca.
Thank you so much, Fox.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. So that was the Voxel King. And yeah, that beam attack that he does is pretty wide and deals a lot of damage. So I'm glad I was able to beat him before he went through that cycle again. But we're on to the final song of the first act. And one thing about this game is all these songs and the entire game itself was created by 4 guys. 4 students at DigiPen Art School. So all of the music is original to the game. The engine that they're running, I believe they may have created themselves as well. And one of the neat things is this is like an early precursor to games like Bullets Per Minute or Crypta the Necrodancer. And one of the cool things about this game is that the rooms and the halls are generated randomly. So they will go kind of on their own, or like you never get the same pattern of rooms as you play through every time. But a lot of them are laid out fairly similarly, so they're kind of easy to pick up.
I'm looking at the beats and they're so intense. My goodness.
Yes, welcome to warning difficulty. I just missed that loop. So that's one of those moments of I just barely missed the loop, so it will replay the loop from the last room, allowing me to pick up these little notes that increase the combo and health until the section is done and it moves on to the next one.
So going slow makes it easier?
Yes and no. Going slower can at least make it so that you're not pressured to running into the next room, but also gives you the opportunity to heal and increase our combo. And our combo is, I believe it's key to getting extra spell uses. But I've not been able to consistently determine what exactly gives us a new spell, or because we start off with 3, but you can hold up to 5 at a time, and I believe it's linked to the combo meter, but I'm not 100% certain because I've not been able to fully test it or confirm it.
Glad we're not encouraging you to go slow in a speedrunning marathon. That incentive. Alright, I think it'll be a fun.
Part of me doesn't even want to talk just because of how intense I'm looking at how many notes are happening on screen right now.
Yeah, once I get past the first 2 or 3 songs, it really becomes a difficult part to try to talk and play at the same time for most of it. Oh boy, that's not good. Oh, that would be why my fingers are on the wrong keys. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, because of the difficulty, if I die, and we're near the end of the song anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next song, just because I don't want to bog us down with another 3.5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and move on at least to the next song, since we were so close to the end. If I die near the beginning, I might redo the start of the song, but yeah, so that's how difficult it can be. You get hit just a few times and you die. So it can get very tough very quickly.
It feels like
but we are on to Act 2, and this is a song called Mountain. Each act is kind of a different subgenre of EDM. I believe they kind of labeled this one like progressive trance. So it's very, if you know anything about EDM or the genres, trances, it's kind of puts you in a trance, so to speak, because it does repeat some very simple things with just a little bit of like rhythms underneath, and just little things underneath the main drum and cymbal beat.
And you said this was a student-made project, right?
Yes.
Nice. I always love student-made projects. I feel like they're just really hidden gems when it comes to speedruns.
And especially something like this that was made for, for their classes. It wasn't for like a game jam or anything. You can really see the dedication and the love that they poured into it.
100%.
The game hardly has any glitches, so there's no way to like get out of bounds or kind of break the game in that regard. So it's very interesting to see that a game developed by, for students is as well put together as it is.
It is. It really is.
Yes. Them and game jams seem to be the pinnacle for creative outlet, I think. Students and game.
Oh yeah, for
games.
sure.
People making games for the fun of it.
Alright, we are in the last room, so I can use the equilibrium tech here. So, like I said, equilibrium allows me to stomp on enemies, and it'll show you the number stomped, but it does help to shorten up the final rooms, which just allows you to move through even faster. So that's one of the few pieces of true speed tech that is in this game. Outside of getting to the doors and waiting and sitting to face inside the room so you can shoot the enemies. Because occasionally, the Zakman will not shoot if you're facing a wall or a door and there are enemies spawned in the room. So if you're sitting like this, you just kind of want to actually face inside. And I think what makes this more difficult than your typical rhythm game, outside of the fact that you're running and avoiding enemies, it's only 3 beats, and it doesn't look like much, but try just moving your 3 fingers very fast in rhythm with the song. It's not as easy as it looks.
As a flute player, I am eternally surprised by how pianists can continually do multiple things with 2 hands. Keeping track of 3 different rhythms is well beyond me.
One thing you will see me do later on in one of the boss fights, and one of the nice little advantages is you can choose to not hit one of the 3 colors. It won't punish you in the sense that it won't it won't hurt you or it won't hurt your combo, but it will lessen your ability to hit as many enemies because it does shoot 1 less beam. But it also allows you to focus just on the 2 colors instead of having to try to hit all 3 at the same time. So it's kind of nice that you can do that if you need to.
This music is rocking. I love it.
This is one of my favorite songs on the game. Most of my favorite songs are going to be the final boss, but also in Act 3. Okay. I've got 1 or 2 more rooms until the boss room. And I most likely will actually be waiting in the boss room to heal up. Because the boss, Viper Vizier, is not... is a little bit difficult. Or, let's see. I think I'm going to retry this. Since it is a boss, I'm going to retry this one more time. If I don't make it, we'll move on. But this is a boss level, so I want to at least try to showcase the boss. And I'm probably going to go focus mode for this song, because it does get difficult. So Ozmourn and Flotsam, feel free to take over for this one.
Yeah. All right. I find it to be incredibly impressive. Everything that Joker's doing, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Especially when it comes to the bosses, like, just look at how much coordination has been going on the screen right now. And I do think there's a lot to keep track of, especially with as many enemies as there are in warning difficulty. I've just comparatively, if you've seen them run this at no glitches allowed, this is very visibly much more intense than that difficulty that they ran there, especially with what they have to do when it comes to the beats. I also enjoy how a lot of the enemies are moving in synchronization with the music and kind of sometimes organized patterns. Sometimes it just comes straight at you. But this particular level, these particular songs that these last few songs that Joker has been doing are some of my personal favorites. I remember hearing them the first time that they invited me on the couch, and this game has surprisingly really good music, and so I highly recommend checking this game out. I forgot where to get the game. I know it's not on Steam. You can just there's a specific website that you go to, but I'm gonna let Joker answer that question after they're done focusing.
It is on the Synaesthete speedruns.com page.
Nice. You can check
it is available on that page. Or you can search for the Synaesthete game, and it goes to the first link will go to the website for DigiFan Art School, where you can download it for free.
Okay, I've just received a small tip-off from the organisers. We have a new incentive that is live right now, namely for Light Matter, which you'll be running at the end of the day, Ozmourn. For visiting the cat, $0 out of 15 so far, because of course it's just been activated. Get those donations in and find the cute animals. I would also quickly like to point out, since we were talking about a really good music for games and also runs coming up, next one is Sonic R. What a theme song it has.
The entire soundtrack of Sonic R is probably my favorite in all the Sonic series.
Yeah. I enjoyed it when Joker submitted this game, especially because if you pair it with Rhythm Doctor, it is a rhythm block, but it's a rhythm block of very unique rhythm games. And Rhythm Doctor and Synaesthete are very underrated rhythm games. And so in comparison to what you would usually see, your typical DDRs and Stepmanias, and so it's being able to showcase off very unique and maybe lesser known rhythm games like this. It's absolutely amazing. I think that's I'm very glad that they submitted this to this thon, because having seen them played it before, they're absolutely amazing at this game, to an extent that I could only ever imagine when I play it myself, whenever I do that.
Note to self: start speedrunning Patapom.
All right, we are up to the Viper Vizier, our second boss of the area. And yeah, as I've said, this Viper Vizier can get a little bit tricky. He does like a little slam move. You kind of end up playing Snake with his body at some times, but and he does spit out extra enemies that gets kind of annoying to deal with because again, it distracts from you shooting him. But he's a little bit easier, at least even on this difficulty. He's a bit more easy than the Voxel King, but he's probably the easiest on Warning difficulty. He just takes a lot of time because he has a lot more health. That's one of the other things that the difficulty increase does, is it increases the boss's health. So what could take, just a couple of loops or, 15, 20 seconds, takes sometimes 45 seconds to a minute, depending on RNG of him spitting out extra enemies and if I get hit or not. One other thing you might see up in the corner, where my spells are, I now have Epiphany. When you go into boss fights, your spell will automatically be changed to Epiphany unless you have Dragon Style equipped, and then you stay with Dragon Style. It's just a coding thing to make sure that I'm not running over or stomping the boss to take him out. I don't know. This is the first time I've seen this where he goes flying across the map. So it's not a marathon unless we could say that's never happened before.
That has never happened before.
That has legitimately never happened in the 10 plus years, the 10 plus years that I've been playing this off and on and speedrunning.
They said the same.
But this is Blackberry. It's another slightly difficult song, but it's not a boss song. But it's the third song of Act Number 2. And it's again just kind of a nice little chill. It's kind of just a nice little chill after the boss level type of level and song. One thing I do recommend if you are interested in getting into this game, all of the music is available as it's designed and written on YouTube. You just search the Synaesthete OST. I highly suggest listening to the songs as they were intended, so that you can get a feel of what the songs actually sound like and what it sounds like when you get the loops properly and you don't loop yourself in the same room. Also, they're just great songs to dance and chill and vibe to.
Yeah, I've been.
That was
banging
one of
my head
the.
into-
That was one of the. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I've been jamming out in my room with the hosting, so I'm sure that many other people watching have been doing the same thing. And if I had a playlist, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it is getting their spells is related to getting your combos up, because when you hear that astounding, I got another spell slot essentially. So there's a little bit to making sure your combo is as high as it can go, and you're not missing notes like that. There we go. And this is why having the Stompy is very useful. I just eliminated the entire room, and if I was paying attention and facing in, I would not have gotten looped. But again, that's one of those little situations where if you're not paying attention or there's still enemies spawned, you need to make sure you're facing in to kill them all. And actually shoot the laser beams. Otherwise, you just kind of sit there playing music for no reason. I don't like having this large room as my final room because it takes so long to kill all the enemies. Because I can't run and stomp all of them everywhere.
Yeah, having those large rooms are pretty difficult because you said everything is random. Like most of the room layouts are like randomized, right?
Yeah, the room layouts and the rooms you get are randomized. So very much like I said, early Binding of Isaac, where maps are randomized. It's very similar with the rooms. We are getting into my next two favorite songs on this game. This one is called Luminous Voluminous. And I just like it because of the name, but also it gives a more upbeat and fast-paced section of the game.
Just like
this song is also a little bit deceptive. So the loops have been 8-bar measures up until this point, and these 8-bar measures are much longer, or these sections are much longer than the other songs. So if you think you might miss a loop or you might replay a loop, but you still got plenty of time. So this song can throw you off if you're not careful.
I feel like I have to.
Off, but I'm getting in the groove. This is amazing.
I feel like I have to read in time to the music. Then I probably won't be able to, but I feel like it's very tempting, and I'm not going to try. But just talking about the prizes, there's Trifox, which is a very colourful twin stick shooter inspired by classic platformers like Crash Bandicoot, Embark on a Journey, straight out of Saturday morning cartoons, beat the evil villain minions, and get your TV remote back. Yes, that is the plot. Featuring 3 classes of Warrior, Mage, and Engineer, there's a playstyle for everyone. Check out Trifox on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. I have seen Cell do speedruns of this game, and it is a very, very good game. I would encourage people to get it. It is, yeah. And, or even better, donate into the prize pool and possibly get it.
In the final room, but I do not have a spell, so this is going to be a little bit rough. Alright, made that one through. And we've got one more act boss and one more song before we hit the final boss. The song is called This Is Hardcore. It's very fun. The boss of this act, the act is called Like a Child. The boss of this act is called Count Stabbington. And Count Stabbington does not like to play nice. And you'll see what I mean when we get to him. But yeah, there's a little bit of story behind the game, and the menu when you're in each act has kind of the backstory of the act and the bosses. But yeah, essentially Count Stabbington is trying to remake the world like in a childlike state. And take over the world and just make everything hard, or just like turn everything just to the childlike state and not do anything else. And so we apparently don't want that. There's a little bit more story explaining it. Also, each song, when you pass through the rooms across the bridges, has like little pop-ups and storyline notifications, but it's hard to read those when you're running through. Look at this.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Stop on enemy. That's not part of it, but I like to read it anyway.
Yeah, this is a room and section of this song that I love listening to, but playing through that is full
That
blown.
looks like it's torture on the wrists. My goodness.
Yeah.
For a character named Count Stabbington, his motives are remarkably complex. You know, I would have thought a villain called Count Stabbington would have had one motive.
Okay, I still have equilibrium. I'm gonna pop that here so I can try to get into the next room a little bit early and maybe get some heals. Or we're gonna wait. Yeah, we're gonna wait for that loop so I can heal up. That is one of the things to think about, especially on the harder difficulties. Do I wait and try to heal up? And just for safety purposes, wanted to go ahead and do that. And now we get to go see Count Stabbington. And like I said, Count Stabbington does not like to play nice, and you'll see why here when he hits his second phase. He gets unfair. And this is one of the when I was talking earlier about not playing one of the beats, this is the main reason why I say that and investigated into this. The green notes are a killer on my wrist and clog up my brain. So I focus on the red and blue notes here. And that little phase there is why Count Stabbington does not like to play nice. He goes underground and you can't actually shoot him, and he pops up at your location. So if you're not moving, he hits you, and he hits you for a lot of damage. And then he spawns a lot of those blue spinning enemies that again distracts you from hitting him because you don't get to target select. You just kind of hit whatever. So if you're not moving at this part, he will come up underneath you and hit you. And it's very annoying and it hurts a lot.
I am slightly curious as to the control scheme that you're using.
So the control scheme is WASD movement, and then JKLL for the beats and I for the spells. So it's kind of the reflected WASD for your right hand. They do have the option to play with the left hand doing the beats and the spell and the right hand doing the movements. So if you are a lefty, or you're stronger with your left hand in rhythmic parts, there is the opportunity to have that switched around. There's Count Stabbington. And that was, I think, one of the best, understated decisions in this development is the fact that you can reflect the movement and the rhythm in your hands for anybody who plays guitar left-handed or anything like that. But we are on to the last regular song of the game before we get to the final boss song. And I just love this little synth rhythm part here, the synth melody.
Yeah, I like it too. It's really cool. Every time that I see you run this game, I forget how good the music is. Thank you. Let's do it again. every single time.
I mean,
Some of those rooms are a little bit easy, like when you get those green or the blue bird-looking enemies, they just group up and swarm you, so you can group them up, pop an equilibrium, and then just stomp them out. It's kind of nice. Alright, I'll take that loop so I can heal. Yeah, the enemies that group up, usually it's pretty easy to manipulate them around once you get used to it. You can move them around and then just stomp them all out at once. But I'm gonna pop it here because I got hit. I hate these enemies. I know there's like a pattern to how they move, but it's so hard to catch them or catch the pattern as it is that I just feel better just stomping and running away.
I find it very weird when you have rooms like that and other rooms that are also filled with enemies, and I'm like, what makes one easy and one hard? I don't know. Maybe it's just
I
there are
wanna,
a
like,
lot more enemies.
I really should play this game because like I want to like commentate more, but I'm also like afraid to commentate because like you seem so focused. I'm looking at what's on screen and I'm just like I feel like if I speak they're gonna mess up.
Oh no, I can at least, especially if I need to go pure focus mode on some of the rooms, I can focus on the music. We are into the final boss. The final boss is the Nemikans, and if you looked at how it's spelled and how the Zakeman is spelled, it's Mega Scott essentially. The nice thing about this song is the only difference from the trivial difficulty is the fact that the Nemikans just has a lot more health. The beat pattern is still the same. So if you know and recognize and remember the beat pattern from playing through this on the easiest difficulty, it's not difficult. He also likes to take phases from all the other bosses. So he is kind of the full endgame boss of checking everything that you've done before this point.
So,
Oh my god.
how bad can this boss be?
This boss actually is not that bad. Those patterns, that phase there was not that bad at all. And especially because it's the same beat pattern through all difficulties. Once you get it memorized, then it's a little bit easier and you just have to navigate and move around him in whatever pattern he's doing. This is where it can get a little bit tough because now he's going Voxel King. And he's got the Voxel King pattern here, where he does the big beam shoot. But thankfully, we also have a lot of epiphanies, so I will just heal it right up. And we're on the final phase. Time will come when it says game complete.
Let's go, final phase.
There we go. And essentially, it's the final boss is, like I said, it's like Nega Scott, if you know anything about Scott Pilgrim, and it's just essentially trying to learn to accept yourself and group yourself together. And time.
Fine. GG's.
And that was Synaesthete. There's two other songs here. The credit song I really love to jam to. It's just really, it's fun, and it's got that credits feeling of like you achieved it, you did it, you succeeded, kind of a celebratory song. The tutorial song it's neat, but the categories, we don't need the tutorial song because it does take quite a while, so we just skip it and we don't play it. Other than that is Synaesthete. I absolutely love this game, and I highly recommend checking it out, especially on trivial difficulty, which is the base difficulty. If anything, just to kind of get used to and learn how to kind of separate that mindset of you have to run around but also play music. It's very fun. It can be difficult, but it's very well worth it. It's very well put together. It's one of my absolute favorite games, and it's just a small indie game. And I don't even know if the 4 main developers are even in game development or anything anymore at this point. So it's a treasure. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. Again, it's if you search for Synaesthete game on Google, the first link will take you to the page on the DigiPen Art School site. Or if you search Synaesthete on the speedruns.com page, I've got all the information as well on the Synaesthete page.
All right, that's wonderful. Amazing run.
Thank you.